Hi Libra, welcome to your October 2016 love reading. I just decided to start my new batch of love readings tonight. I wasn't planning on it. So, why not? It's a new month. Okay, so the overall theme of October for your love life is the Ace of Cups. This is so beautiful because this directly connects to a new love coming into your life. This is a lot of Librans' birthday month, so happy birthday to those of you who celebrate birthdays in October. You will be having a new moon on the 30th of September. So going into October, you're going to have that new moon energy in your own sign. So I feel that, you know, just in general, there's a new beginning just because it's your solar return, but you also have this fresh influx of love. And of course, Jupiter just went into your sign. So that's very, what's that word that means lucky? You know, it's very fortunate to have Jupiter transiting in your own sign, because whether it's your sun sign or your ascendant, it's a great omen. So there might be, this might just be kind of a continuation of that, where a lot of things are aligning for you, including your love life. So let's look at more information. Now, specifically, it could be with a water sign. And the water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. In the recent past, we have the Knight of Wands. So this could actually be a Sagittarius person who was in the picture. I always associate this with Aries, but I read somewhere that it's actually supposed to be Sagittarius to me, because it looks like someone doing battle. I would associate it more with Aries. Fire signs are connected to wands in general, so maybe it could be any of the fire signs, including Leo. But that might have been a former partner of yours. It also can indicate a love affair, or I'm sorry, a person who is more interested in love affairs. They call them a love 'em and leave 'em type of person, instead of this is more of a heart kind of a situation. So if you're looking for love instead of a roll in the hay, this person is more likely to provide that. This might have been just kind of a fling, you know, type of deal, booty call caliber. And in the near future, we have the Ten of Swords. So this is like a cycle ending, and this is kind of what they call the hitting bottom phase. So it's what I would say is that some of you may have been involved with something that maybe you thought it had potential, and it turned out to be just a sexual relationship, and that thing is coming to an end. But you have this, and maybe this is what kind of hastens the demise of the former relationship, because you can see the contrast between this which is like, you know, a pure love versus something that is just sexual. And it's not to say that a physical, like an affair, is never appropriate or helpful. Sometimes it can be very therapeutic, I suppose. But for what it is that you are looking for right now, that's the only reason why it would not be. Because you're probably looking for something more substantial, and you have it with the new person. The higher message is the Fool card, and this, I think, kind of goes along with the theme of a new solar cycle. This is you kind of embarking on a new journey, as we do in every new year, and specifically with our new, you know, at the time of our birthdays, or the new moon kind of ushers in the new cycle. But it's a zero, so it's like totally unknown quantity. And it also is a person who is traveling very lightly, so there's no preconceived notions. And this is kind of like what the universe is telling you to be. Like, you know, be very freewheeling, you know, footloose and fancy-free. Do not get too heavy about whatever has happened to you in the past and try to project it onto the new person. And it's also about not, you know, placing demands, I think, on other people, because the Fool card is about live and let live. You know, you're doing your thing. You're seeing life as an adventure, not as this endurance test, not as this, you know, torture device. And that's one of the, I think that Libra can do that, because Libra is a very romantic sign, but it is a detached sign, being an air sign. And I think that you're capable of being playful in love, rather than getting too intense, getting too possessive, just turning into something that isn't fun anymore. And what's interesting is that this person might be a lot of fun, but they're not, they might be in and out, in and out. And the person, if there's a new love for you, that person's going to be much more steady. And yet, while you're kind of in this new phase, it's always helpful to kind of keep an open mind and keep an open heart, not have a lot of, you know, negative memories that are weighing you down and making you cynical, but having that freshness, which the Fool represents. You know, the Fool, you know, there's an archetype of the Holy Fool, because the Fool acts like he's, you know, completely without any wisdom or any knowledge. And yet that very quality is what keeps him, you know, seeing life as an adventure and having a fresh kind of an attitude. When people become, you know, weary from relationships that have not turned out the way they wanted them to, they become very cynical. They start to, you know, anticipate negative things happening. And of course, if you anticipate things, you know, according to the law of attraction, then they will show up for you that way. The universe will mirror how you see life. So if you don't want certain things to show up for you, you have to stop anticipating them. And I know it's easier said than done, especially if you've had much evidence to the contrary. But you still have to make it a point to being as positive as possible and, you know, anticipating good things coming to you. The challenge position for this particular month is the Page of Cups. So what can this mean? Well, I think there's two distinct possibilities. Either this is you, and it's saying, do not be naive. Maybe in the past you have believed what you heard. You've allowed people to pull the wool over your eyes. The page can refer to actual children, but in this context, I think it's it's almost like the literal fool aspect, the foolishness of, not questioning, things that may seem hard to believe, kind of believing tall tales and generally just being naive. And if this is something that you have a tendency to do, you're going to have to be conscious of it first in order to change it. But it also can mean that there's somebody, maybe it is this same person, even though these two qualities are quite different. This is more of a dreamy person, maybe an artistic person. But it's possible, talking about astrological types, that you might have like a Pisces person. You see he's got a fish. In this particular Morgan Greer deck, it seems to suggest a connection to Pisces, but I believe it would be any of the water signs. So in addition to Pisces, it could be the Scorpio or Cancer individual. But this person tends to be rather naive, dreamy, artistic, and very sensitive. So they, in terms of love, they can really appeal to somebody like you, because as a Libra individual, you really love the arts and you love music. And so if this person, for instance, is a musician and you meet this person in a club at an open mic, you're just going to have your eyes just like glazed over, just listening and going, he's so sensitive, or he's so creative, or she is so artistic, and you can fall in love just because of their artistic talent. And so I just think specifically of Pisces. But to me, there's a little bit of that helpless quality that may appeal to you as well. How could this be the same person? Well, even Pisces people can be players. So that the Knight of Wands can be a player. Perhaps that person isn't showing a fiery nature, but they are showing the Wand's propensity for physical love affairs. So you have to watch out for this individual, because anytime, you get the cups too, they can be manipulative. Okay, and they can guilt you, they can weasel their way into your hearts because of their charm. They have a lot of charm and a lot of talent, and usually they can read people very well, so they can really, do a number on people. But you have to make sure that you see them as they really are. And so you may have a bit of that Page of Cups quality within yourself as well. The attitude to adopt, and this is very interesting because it kind of dovetails quite nicely, is the King of Wands. So this is a very decisive masculine energy, which is a leadership energy. So this is somebody who can really make decisions very well, but unlike the King of Swords, is going to have a very warm demeanor as well. So it won't be as detached, and it will have a lot of, I'm sure it would have a lot of compassion, but it's really like not wavering, and that's one of the shadow aspects of Libra, is having a very indecisive nature. This is one of the reasons why a lot of you people, or I should say a fair number, are either interested in or actually gravitate towards the legal professions, because you enjoy, seeing all sides of an issue. And so you make good judges as well as lawyers. just for the sense of being, you know, a mental sign. You have the natural intelligence to do that as well. But being able to see all sides can make it very difficult to make a decision. And this person is very determined and ambitious and knows what he wants. You know, he's not wishy-washy. And it's also a very productive energy, a very creative energy. So it can, you know, point to maybe your career is really taking off. And maybe you'll be more involved with that. If this hasn't come in for you yet, maybe your career is going to be quite on fire, you know, pardon the pun, because the wands are related to fire signs. So whatever's happening, it counters this kind of, you know, either delusion or kind of manipulation that someone may be trying to come at you with. The actual action steps or advice is represented by the Devil card. This could be a Capricorn individual who, you know, is a great friend to you that really can help you sort things out. But it could relate to looking at addictive tendencies. I see a lot of times when there is this sexual relationship that is too influential in a person's life, and that's what I was talking about this person, where you might be addicted to that you have to let it go. This is about the things that bind you and getting rid of them. And, you know, knowing what they are and knowing that they are problematic. So it might just be a case of acknowledging if there's some kind of a compulsive relationship that keeps you in it, even though it's long past its expiration date. And what it could be saying, too, is that until you get rid of that, this new love can't come in, because that's what they say, nature abhors a vacuum. Well, there has to be a vacuum for anything else to come in. If there's someone who's, you know, engaging your time, then logic, you know, will have it that you will not be able to do two things at once. And yeah, I mean, even on the practical level, you can't devote your time equally to something that you're trying to maintain that's not good and something that you want to maintain that is good. So you're going to have to sever ties with things that don't serve you anymore. And it's amazing. It really is amazing to see how that works out. A lot of people are probably skeptical, you know, and, you know, you can do that even when it comes to getting rid of stuff that you don't use, you know, physical items. Depending on how people are raised, it can be very hard to let go of things, even if you're not using them, because it feels like a loss. And it's like, well, what if I might need it in the future? And we even feel that way towards people. Well, I might need this person. I'm feeling pretty strong right now, but what about if I get rid of this person and they find somebody else and I can't find anybody else and then I'm all alone? And when you think like that, it's very lack consciousness, and it's very limited, you know. And I understand completely, you know, why people think like that, but you still have to, you know, take some risks in life and not just play it safe, because then you're playing small. And what's so interesting is that the outcome, should you choose to accept this assignment, is the Star card. And this is having your dreams come true. The dreams that, you know, you have wished for. Now, astrologically, this could relate to an Aquarius individual. And Aquarius is a fellow air sign. So you would probably be very compatible with an Aquarius. This card specifically, I mentioned water signs, but it really, in general, just means new love. So it could be any sign of the zodiac. So this is, you know, and I'm beginning to understand more that the star card comes after maybe a rough patch. So it's like, you know, when your dreams, when your ships come in, or your ship comes in, or your dream is fulfilled, there may have been disappointments that led up to that, and that makes it all the more sweeter. But it does, we have to acknowledge that there may have been, you know, heartbreak and other kinds of challenges, but you know, all's well that ends well. And so yeah, very interesting. So I'm glad I ended on that note. It's a very positive note, Libra. Again, happy birthday. And if you would like a private reading where I'm, you know, pulling up your particular natal chart along with the tarot for my love readings specifically, but I have other types of readings too, you can click on the link below this video in the description bar. And otherwise, I wish you a wonderful month of October. Bye.